Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by
Solzy,
Kendall,
Mark,
Sheen Washable.
I was going to say, the one time it's not me and J-Mark.
Yeah, and Mark Sheen Washable, it's great to have you back after, your heroic story of suffering from a heart attack and then resuscitating an EMT while undergoing a heart attack and then driving that ambulance to the hospital for the EMT and then performing open heart surgery on him, all while suffering from a heart attack yourself.
Listen, this show's not for that. Let's not talk about it.
I'm not.
We got to just move on.
True words of a hero.
We just got to move
true
on.
Hero. Just
You're so brave.
Yeah, and I hope your checkup is all good. But what a hero. Enough said. We won't sit here and blow a spot up. Today's show, very special, HoF or not. But before then, starting lineups. Marshawn Lynch, on your first day back, take us off.
I have the Elysian. Is that how you say it?
Nope.
How do you pronounce it?
Elysian.
Elysian. I was close. The Dayglow IPA.
They also make a popular beer called Space Dust.
Yes.
What's that?
It's a beer that's made with semen from outer space.
Nice.
We'll have to get it for you.
I like to try it.
All right. I have the Piglet by Black Hog.
I believe that's its third appearance on the show.
Third time's a charm.
It's
very popular.
I, of course, have Too Juicy. Nothing more said.
From where, Kyle?
Don't matter.
You know what's funny?
From the Juice USA, kid.
He said, of course. And I thought, he's having a Coors Light. But sure enough, he stuck to his guns.
Just said it wrong.
Juice has been on more shows than I have, I think.
Yeah, the Juice has made quite a bit of appearances. Jeff?
I have from the Night Shift Brewing Company, I have Awake. It's a porter aged with coffee.
Excellent. I, along with Kendall and Kyle, have a local brewery, Nebco, New England Brewing Company, and their Imperial Stout Trooper.
Nice.
If you're not familiar with
jealous.
it, it's got a stormtrooper wearing sunglasses with a big schnoz and a moustache.
So it's me with sunglasses.
No, because you don't have a moustache.
But I have a big schnoz.
White, so he's close to a stormtrooper. But
Yeah, I guess we'll go with that. Toast to excellence. Take a moment to pay our respects to the Crowder family. Jay Crowder, who was recently traded to the Cavs, unfortunately lost his mother, and our condolences go out to the Crowder family. We hope them all the best. We're with them in their time of sorrow.
Yeah, it's too bad.
So a toast of excellence to the Crowder family. So, Mark, how was cracking a bottle while everyone else is cracking
Tell you
a can?
what, went way smoother than I thought it was going to.
Wow.
Kendall, of course, is a sipping already because his beer exploded all over
I
him.
smell like Starbucks already.
I thought it was going to take like 2 tries,
Yeah.
but it went smoothly.
Excellent. Shot trivia. Kendall, you had the honor of performing the trivial fact last show.
Question, how did I get put in this?
Shut up.
Kyle.
Shut up, all right? Just
Doesn't matter.
I
think
was
Jeff should be put in it.
the most incorrect off, whatever the hell you want to call it, even though saving lives was on the agenda. As per show protocol, absence results in a shot, and Kyle's doing a shot because he's Kyle.
I feel like I said something dumb.
Probably.
You do that a lot.
Yeah.
So, Kendall, do you think we're going to like this shot, or is this going to be a real
I think you're going to like it. I would like it.
You like anything.
You
not
like
true.
grain alcohol.
That's true.
You like Everclear.
Well, I
That's
guess
grain
that's
alcohol.
Grain alcohol, Kyle.
I know
That's
what
another
it
shot
is.
for Cut.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding.
Let's give it a shot.
I don't want to do this.
To the savior and the brave man, Michael Mock.
Excellent. Oh, wow, that's really smooth.
Yeah?
I have a little residue.
I tell you what, that was wonderful.
Yeah, definitely blackberry brandy.
Did you
Without a
guys
doubt.
like it?
Yeah.
I
I
did.
don't like it.
Was that
Really?
blackberry? Is that blackberry brandy and vanilla bourbon?
So what that was it was blackberry brandy from
yeah.
Mr. Boston. It was Crown Royal Rye, and it was Miller High Life.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah,
I tell you, my
You put Miller
hat,
High Life in there?
I did.
my hat goes off because that was the best disgusting shot we've had on the show.
I'm gonna throw up.
Are you souls?
I might.
Why? It was
You
so
didn't like
good.
it?
I don't like cough medicine.
Can you make it
I've
through?
seen you get really drunk on blackberry brandy.
Not on purpose.
It's the only way to get
Let
drunk.
this be an
That's what
exception.
I'm saying.
Shh. Your mouth read.
I want to name the shot.
Yes, of course, you have to.
It's the Reader.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna order that in bars.
All right.
Shh.
I don't like that.
All right.
You don't like the name?
No.
It could
I mean,
worse.
it.
I should have named it Oh Souls, but You watch
All right,
opportunity.
enough, Kyle, with the Old Souls. No, it's a great name.
Souls rules.
Jeff gets it.
Of the never-ending names Kyle has.
Before we do the trivia fact, as we said before, this is going to be the HoF Hall of Fame or Not show, geared towards the NFL. So, geared towards a bias, of course, as everything else is on the show. It seems to be. Charles Tillman makes the list today. So my trivia fact is about Charles Tillman, the inventor of the peanut punch, one of the hardest hitting, and not by tackling but by punching cornerbacks in NFL history. How many forced fumbles did Charles Tillman have in his career? Any guesses?
21.
21 from Souls.
I got 24.
24 from Jeff. We got 24 on Jeff. 24 on Jeff. 21 on Souls.
25 on me.
25 on Kendall. 25 on Kendall.
23.
I was going
23 on
24.
Mark,
That's
23 on
why.
Mark. All right, so Kyle is the loser.
Yeah,
Because you guys all suck. Charles Tillman forced 44 fumbles in his career.
Wow, that's
which
incredible.
I would like to go on record saying is more than Ray Lewis.
Wow.
Keep
That's
that in mind
incredible.
from a defensive back. The year that the Bears had that disgusting defense, I think it was 2012 because I think it was Urlacher's last year. He got hurt. I'm pretty sure Tillman had 13 forced fumbles that season or something like that. I'll check the facts, but that's a lot of fumbles from a corner.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
Might be most all time. Is that possible? From a defensive back?
I would have to imagine.
We'd have to check that. I think it is. I think it is.
I think it is. He also lost only one fumble in his career, which is just a demoralizing
I
thing
know.
as a defensive back. So HoF or not? NFL players have great careers. We're going to talk about some of them. Some of these players are going to be retired. Some of these players are right on the cusp of retirement. We're not going to look into players that are, hot but kind of getting there in age now. We're not going to talk about Drew Brees and stuff like that because those are surefire Hall of Famers.
He's a no-doubter.
We're not going to talk about players like Odell Beckham Jr. because the answer is going to be the same. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So we're looking at players that are, pretty much have made their case. They're just playing right now. And players that have run their tenure. So why not pick up right where we left off? Charles Tillman, cornerback, Chicago Bears. I mean, he played with the Panthers, but who cares? What do you guys think?
I think he's in.
I agree.
He'll get in.
I also think he's in.
He's in.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent.
Well, you said it right
It's a
there.
lot of forced fumbles
Of
for a
course,
guy.
with the preface, the Hall of Fame for football is nothing like the MLB Hall of Fame. It's a lot easier to get in. Players have, I think Tillman gets in because I think a lot of cornerbacks have gotten in on a less impressive resume than him. But the forced fumbles, 44 forced fumbles is pretty gross. I mean, he has his fair share of picks. He's always up at the top of tackles for the Bears, throughout his defensive prowess. He was a large part of their Super Bowl run in 2006. I think he's a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I do too. The NFL, especially in the Hall of Fame, they do a lot more based on the eye test versus actual stats.
Yeah.
The guys that had a lot of those highlight plays.
That's the thing. That's the one gripe I've always had against the MLB Hall of Fame is that it doesn't always take into effect the impact a player had on the team versus because a big one, again bias, but a big one could be Paul Konerko. He very well might not make the Hall of Fame. There's a pretty good chance he doesn't. But when you look at the impact he had on the organization, not very few players had bigger impacts on their team than he did. But we'll keep it in the Getting Sports with Drunk favorite teams family. James Harrison, the ageless freak of nature linebacker from the Steelers. We've talked about it before. I mean, this guy bench presses the combine weight for fun.
This guy humped 8,000 pounds. I know I've said it again. I'm still in disbelief.
Yeah, he's done some pretty gross things in the weight room. I don't know if you follow him on Instagram, but full Steelers sweatsuit at all times. Gladly takes PED tests publicly. I'm pretty sure that it was stated. I'm pretty sure he just whipped it out to do a test in the middle of an office
Nice.
in the headquarters because people were he's got to be on PEDs. He's lifting crazy. No, he just works out a lot. But you think he's got a Hall of Fame career under his belt?
No.
I agree with Jeff.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I say yes. I don't think simply we said I don't think it's as hard to get into the Hall of Fame as it is in other sports.
I just don't think he had the credentials to get there.
I think he does off of longevity.
I agree with Kyle. I don't think he's got the stats to do it, but he's got the rings and impactful wise. And
if he does make it, it's going to take him about 5 or 6 years.
Exactly. Look at Terrell Owens. What you do on and off the field directly relates to the Hall of Fame, and James Harrison hasn't had the best track record.
He didn't really do anything like. Besides bad hits, he hasn't done anything like he had never taken steroids.
You think of a dirty player, though. I love James Harrison. Don't get me wrong, but you think of a dirty player, he's right there.
Well, I think a big portion into his Hall of Fame career is kind of what Kendall said, longevity. He got off to a slow start, but he's produced, and he's still producing.
Yeah.
He still had a great year last year, especially for someone of his age. And it was good enough to get him a 2-year contract.
If he does, it's going to take him quite a bit of time to get him.
I'll agree with that.
I think he goes on the second ballot.
I was going to say, I think he gets in, but like 3rd or 4th. Kind of right in the middle there.
Yeah.
Kendall, would you be happy to see him in the Hall of Fame?
Very happy.
I hope he goes in as a Bengal.
That would be absurd. 1 year, oh God.
It wasn't even a year, dude.
He got cut.
Well,
He got cut, and then the Steelers signed him, then he did sick again.
He did sick again.
He did sick.
That's going to be on a shirt, too. We're racking up the Kyle Souls shirts.
Yeah, I'm not the brightest guy out of this group.
Come
But
on,
anyways,
have some confidence
He
in
was
it.
thinking of a metaphor. Anquan Bolden, wide receiver for everyone. But primarily the Ravens and the 49ers.
I would like to leave this one off.
Okay.
I say yes. He produced above expectation for every team he's played for. The Ravens, the Cardinals, even the Lions he played really well for them last year.
Now, he won a ring with the Ravens, right? And then went to the 49ers, right?
Yeah.
He was a big part of that ring.
Yeah.
And then they just let him go.
He does all the dirty work for the offense.
Well, the ring helps.
Yeah. And also, I want to say it's 2015 he won the Man of the Year.
Oh, the
Could have been 15 or 16, yeah. I mean, that's definitely says a lot about the guy's character.
See, I think Bolden's almost like a Larry Fitzgerald type. He's just that super reliable.
They played
receiver.
Yeah.
Larry said that he
was one
deserves
hell of a duo
to be in.
Well, I think a lot of it too is you look at the mentorship thing. I mean, even as both of them as new guys on the team, you have younger up and coming Golden Tate, and then you just sign Anquan Bolden. And I mean, not to say that Tate's not talented and can't do it on his own, but I'd like to think Bolden, his locker room presence as a established wide receiver, probably pretty well helped him to play with a quarterback of Stafford's caliber.
And Bolden used to be the number 1 on our Cardinals team. It was very brief, but he was before he was the second fiddle.
A couple years before Fitzgerald.
That's what I mean. He was the number 1, and as time went on,
And
Fitzgerald
he just retired, right? Like a week, like a couple weeks ago, right?
Signed with the Bills, retired, I think, in the same week.
Yeah. Good for him though for going out.
Yeah, he said
as a contracted player
for family reasons too. He wanted to live the most out of his life, and I mean, you see that a lot nowadays.
This should be an interesting one. Calvin Johnson, wide receiver for the Lions, short-lived career. Obviously, credentials speak for themselves in that short career. What do you think?
Absolutely yes. Because he has the stats. For the 10 years that he's played in, he played above and beyond for that team. Granted, they never won anything, but he is the vocal point of what receivers are today.
I think if Calvin Johnson gets in, it epitomizes the viewing of the joke of the NFL Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
I don't think Calvin Johnson should be in the Hall of Fame simply because it has nothing to do with him being a Lion. Yes, he had outstanding numbers, including breaking a record people thought would never be broken with Jerry Rice's single-season yardage record. But he didn't do the longevitiness of his career. He wasn't always a top performer in terms of touchdowns and things like that. I mean, yardage-wise, of course, but he was also a freak of nature for his size. But he didn't take the longevity route that a lot of these receivers. I mean, look at Anquan Bolden. He was drafted before Fitzgerald, and Fitzgerald's considered an old receiver, like a very old receiver. And Johnson retired, and at the end of his career, he was banged up a lot. He missed a lot of time. If a guy is going to retire that early and still get in just because of stats,
he's going to be in because of his dominance.
I just don't. But why is that the reason? That doesn't make sense to me. Like,
that's
why?
how the NFL does it. Like Terrell Davis only played 6 years in the NFL,
and I don't agree with him being in the Hall of Fame.
Neither do I. But that's how the NFL looks at it.
So, are you saying that Calvin Johnson will be in the Hall of Fame, but
he
you don't
will
agree
be in
with
the Hall
it?
of Fame,
but you don't agree with it?
But he doesn't belong there. But he will be in.
So I guess we should reiterate. So the debate is supposed to be, do they belong in the Hall of Fame?
I say no.
I don't think he belongs.
I don't
in the
think
Hall
so.
of Fame.
And for the same point you said, it was a short career. He was dominant while he played, but it was a short time.
He may very well belong on the list of greatest receivers of all time.
Yeah.
He may very well belong on that list, but that doesn't guarantee him a spot in the Hall of Fame.
Can anyone find out right now where he lists in
total
yardage?
Yeah, we got our fact checker, Mike Mock. Sheen Washable.
Get on that. Because I think that would shed some light on.
Every time I think about something to say, you guys have pretty much touched on it. I don't think he belongs, but I think there's a very high possibility he does make it.
Right, like,
no one can argue. You're absolutely right. He was a freak of nature. It's the best way to describe the guy.
Well, that's why I think we should really focus on, do they belong?
It's like Barry Sanders, right? He played only 8-9 years.
No,
but Barry Sanders racked up way more yardage.
That's true.
Two different positions.
That's tough to.
I know it's tough to. You're comparing.
But the thing is,
two different timetables too.
But see, that kind of goes against your argument. Is what I'm thinking, because two different positions, two different timetables, but really not really, because Barry Sanders.
Like I said before, I believe he's going to get in. Does he belong there? No, but I think if.
Well, no, I know what you're saying, but like Barry Sanders racked up like a significant more amount of yards and achievements in a time when running was big. Calvin Johnson, he was a stat freak, but in a time receiving was big. So like and he was the only option for a long time. I mean, he went big when Nate Burleson's career ended, pretty much, and
when they brought Stafford in, that's when he really took off.
Just to interject here, Calvin Johnson is 29th on the list of receiving yards with 11,619.
Not bad for a guy from playing that.
Right, but that's my whole fact is like, we're putting him in the Hall of Fame because he's 29th after 10 years. He probably would have been first if he played his whole career.
Yeah. Or he could have regressed.
Or he could have tore his ACL and been done forever. I don't think he deserves there. I agree with Kyle. I think he'll get in, but I don't think he belongs there.
Very good, though.
Last quick point. I think the way receivers are now, we're going to forget about Calvin Johnson in 5 years.
Absolutely. I think we're already forgetting about him.
Yeah, really.
I really do.
He keeps showing up to different training camps. Who cares? If you're not signing, I don't care. I want to see him play.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him play.
I really hate the debate about Calvin Johnson being the face of what receivers are today, because I don't think that's true at all. I think the receiving game started to become what it is in like the mid-2000s. I think the receivers like Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden, those are the receivers that, young Brandon Marshall, those are the guys that paved the way for Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson just, he paved the way for big receivers,
Like an A.J. Green.
Right, like an A.J. Green or a Martavius Bryant type of guy, like that type of guy. Someone who uses their innate ability. What about everyone's favorite position, the offensive lineman? Do you think Nick Mangold, the most fearsome, second most fearsome beard in recent memory, belongs in the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think he'll be in there.
For sure.
He was the most dominant offensive lineman for how long?
Is he still a free agent?
Yeah.
Really?
Second most fearsome beard in the NFL.
His sister played.
The first might be on this list.
The first is definitely on this list. We'll get to him next.
Get to him.
Yeah, I agree. The offensive lineman is the hardest position,
especially at center.
It goes against everything that you say. Because like you talk about stats, a position that doesn't have stats. Nobody cares about pancakes. It's not a real stat, really.
It's a Madden thing.
Yeah, and I think the offensive lineman position is the only position in the NFL that doesn't have the awards, Pro Bowls, and rings that have to be associated with it. It's hard because, you look back, there's plenty of offensive linemen in the Hall of Fame that have given up a lot of sacks. But,
well, just to say, like Alan Faneca, not being biased, but he was one of the best offensive linemen at the time he was playing.
I don't think that's even biased.
He's still not even playing. He's still not even in the Hall of Fame. It might take him a few years, but he's still one of the greatest centers to ever play this game.
Yeah, I agree. We could go to the probably the best beard of all time, Brett Kiesel, Hall of Famer.
No, he doesn't have the credentials.
I don't think so either.
He only played about 4 or 5 years starting wise.
I think Brett Kiesel was one of those things that he doesn't have the stat sheet type thing, because I think Brett Kiesel, I think if you look at his NFL, streaming for TV stat sheet, because they highlight things that aren't on stat sheets, he probably leads his entire career that era in quarterback hurries, but never actually got the sacks.
Well, because the Steelers played a 3-4, so they relied on the linebackers to make the sacks and the tackles, while he just opened up the hole for them to get to.
Yeah.
Very noteworthy. I don't think he makes it.
He was very good for his position at the time.
Right.
If he wasn't on the Steelers, he wouldn't be the player who he was.
He'll kind of be second saddle to Harrison, unfortunately.
What about try to get some of the big names on this list before we run out of time? What about Marshawn Lynch? Now, granted, he just signed a contract and he's back in the NFL, but he's older. His time is on a leash. What do you think?
J-Mart?
Negating what he did to the Saints.
No, I mean, that play pissed me off, but I love Marshawn Lynch. I don't know if he makes the Hall of Fame, though. I don't think he does.
I agree with Jeff. I don't think I don't know if he does. I don't think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
The thing, too, is this year will determine that, for me at least. I got to see how he is after a year rest, a year off.
Beat me to it.
But the thing is, I mean, he had an outstanding year and a tenure in Seattle, but, I mean, they didn't need Marshawn Lynch to win the Super Bowl. They had the defense to do it on their own. Their defense did win in that Super Bowl.
Like, to piggyback what you guys said, but his time in Buffalo wasn't really impressive.
No, it wasn't.
I was going to say, like, I think Lynch eventually will get in. I don't think he should. But
I don't think he does.
If Oakland wins a Super Bowl this year while he's there, now he's got 2 rings. Right. If he performs well...
I know we said we're going to try to gear away from the if he does what he does thing, but he's older. If he makes an impact in Oakland, I agree. Yeah. I think it's that will cap it.
Right. It's interesting because our conversation is totally different if he didn't sign with Oakland.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he didn't sign with Oakland, it's a no. Very hard no for me.
I mean, he's got a great team
tough
around
because,
him
like,
now.
his time in Buffalo was very poor.
But that's in the past, I think.
Yeah, but really, besides a couple, 2 or 3 seasons in Seattle, he hasn't really done anything crazy.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, if he can perform in Oakland like he has been in Seattle, I think then you have a chance. Otherwise, no. It's a no.
What about Tony Romo?
Hard no for me. I don't think he never won anything. He was a great passer, but he never won a thing.
I feel like he kind of falls into the Calvin Johnson category of players. Not that he racked up outstanding numbers, but his career was cut short for injury purposes. I mean, he won. He got him to the playoffs, but never could do anything with it.
He never could finish, and that's what's going to kill him.
Would you say a third of his career was injury?
Easy.
Probably.
Easily.
And I think
he may very well go down as the second best quarterback in Dallas history.
He was a good quarterback.
Statistically, he's their best quarterback.
But he's not the best in Dallas history, in my opinion. But I don't think it's enough to put him in the Hall of Fame.
It's like Pennington. Pennington put up good numbers if you look at his stats, but whatever. Yeah. It's
like Alex Smith.
Yeah, exactly.
The same type of thing.
They put
Alex
up great
Smith
stats, but it's not enough to get them to that next level.
He's just a healthier version of Romo. I mean, what do you think, Kyle?
To me, I feel like it's up in the air. He has the credentials to do it. He has the credentials to be in. It's just, like you guys said, he's never won anything.
Playoff games.
Yeah, but his numbers are Hall of Fame worthy.
I don't know. I don't think he makes it. No, I don't think he makes it, and I don't think he deserves to make it.
No,
I think what you're trying to say, Kyle, and correct me if I'm wrong. They're great for Dallas, but
he's a good regular season quarterback.
But if you stack him against players who played during his time, like Ben Roethlisberger and Eli Manning, his numbers will kind of be marginalized. Mm-hmm. I think what you're saying is that he's good as a Dallas Cowboy. And that's why you think.
But you're marginalizing his numbers against quarterbacks that are going to make the Hall of Fame. You can't say Eli Manning and Ben Roethlisberger.
I'm just saying quarterbacks that played in the same time period. But I know what you're saying.
Well, I agree with you. If you look at his numbers over the course of his career versus other quarterbacks, I think his numbers are on par with quarterbacks that are probably going to make the Hall of Fame. Eli Manning, Ben
Roethlisberger. And those quarterbacks have won when it counts.
Right. That's what
Eli
the thing is.
I think Romo doesn't get in for the same reason Phillip Rivers doesn't get in.
Exactly.
They're not very different, and neither of them have won anything.
I think Phillip Rivers' chances are better.
He played more. He wasn't always
injured.
Romo's
had a better team around him more than Phillips has.
That's more of a reason he should not make it.
I'm just saying.
He said he had a better team around him, and he still didn't get it done. I don't think he makes it.
No.
Well, we'll keep the quarterback debate going. Carson Palmer. Fun name.
No.
Yeah,
fun person to talk about.
I want to see him in it, but he's not going to.
I think it would require him, and it's the whole thing, we'll have to see what happens. If he were to win, and statistically we're kind of to inflate his stats, he might have a chance, but right now, no.
For me, I don't think he deserves it, but I think if he makes it to a Super Bowl, I think he's in.
He's such an up and down quarterback.
Yeah.
Like he's like a Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He's also bounced around a lot.
He's been around forever.
Yeah.
He's retired. He's come back.
I think he's going to be one of those quarterbacks that everyone does remember 10 years from now, but even though he doesn't make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I can see that.
So he'll be like, what was that guy's name?
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be that guy. It's Carson Palmer.
It becomes a trivia question.
All right, Mock, what about Brandon Jacobs?
See, that one's tough.
The fattest of the three-headed monster.
That was him. I don't think he'll get in because we saw what Brandon Jacobs was without Bradshaw, and he wasn't good. They both looked so good because they were playing together. So I don't think he gets in, and I don't think he should be in.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't have his numbers in front of me, but his numbers probably weren't anything to brag about either.
No.
I mean, they were probably. I mean, he probably had a great year or two when the three-headed monster was happening, but career-wise numbers, I mean,
that's the thing. Like when it was him and Bradshaw, I remember he had a ton of touchdowns and he had the yards. When he went to San Fran, fell off completely, and it ruined his career. I don't think he'll be in.
I think it's kind of the same thing as Calvin Johnson. He was a freak of nature at his position, but that doesn't mean that he's a Hall of Famer.
It was more of like Bradshaw did the first and second down. He did the end zone work. And
they were a great unit. If you could put a unit in the Hall of Fame, I say hell yeah, put him in the Hall of Fame. But
he also was dominant for 3 years?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't
terrible.
I mean, I think he had a first good year when he went to San Fran but after that, I think
he got hurt. I don't even think he ever really played for San Fran.
Honestly, I don't even remember him in San Fran.
He went out there, and I'm pretty sure he got hurt.
We're
talking about LaDainian Tomlinson, right?
I think his time there was impactful while healthy, though. I'm saying, like, if he had stayed healthy, I think that year would have been good. The remainder of it would have been just as good, but yeah, he still would have fallen off. I mean, we're kind of running out of time, but
do you want to do just like a quick yes, no explanations?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Some of the guys we missed. Or?
Darren Sharper.
No.
Suck. He has the credentials, but no, just because he's an asshole.
Excellent.
No.
All right, Clinton Portis.
No.
Oh,
I want him to.
I love him, but he just got injured way too much.
It hurts, but I have to be honest.
He got injured way too much in his career.
Vincent Jackson.
No.
I think he makes it, though.
I'm sure he will. He was a good receiver forever, but...
Thomas Davis.
No.
Yes.
Damn.
Really?
I do.
All right.
No.
I know it's killing Kyle because he really wants to explain why.
Well, you explain why. Why?
Well,
defend your position.
Quick.
In his years, he's produced with 60, 70 plus tackles. Character plays a big part in the Hall of Fame.
I'll give you that.
And he's a very good person. He's won multiple awards for communities and stuff. So,
what about Willis McGahee?
No.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. I
Give
was joking.
him
You think yes, Mark?
No.
Terrell Suggs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hate him, but yes.
Yeah.
For Kyle to say yes, that he's making the Hall of Fame first
Yeah.
ballot.
I'm trying to figure out what's more surprising: yes to Terrell Suggs or no to James Harrison. And
Suggs is all around great.
rounds it out. Drew Bledsoe.
Cordell Stewart.
What?
I think
No,
Drew
all of the
Bledsoe was.
I think Drew Bledsoe deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But I do not
He
think
He should
will
be in
get
just
it.
for launching the 2 careers of, Romo
Exactly.
and Brady.
I
Not even that.
Just
You
a
couldn't have said it any
ceremonial
better.
ad.
He played well when he was in New England, and he took him to a Super Bowl. And people forget about that because of what Brady has done in his time there. Drew Bledsoe
he was the Carson Palmer before the Carson Palmer.
Drew Bledsoe was a great quarterback for the New England Patriots. Probably the second greatest quarterback ever to play for them. I mean, granted, Brady, happened.
Yeah.
But I think Drew Bledsoe deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Before we stop everything, I want to talk about Frank Gore. One name I believe do you guys think he belongs in or no?
Yes. Absolutely. He should be in there.
Why?
He's played over 10 years and averages over 1,000 yards every year. He's getting older and older, and he still goes over 1,000 yards.
Scares me.
He's the most reliable running back we've probably seen in our lives.
I have to say yes too. It's unfortunate that he probably just breaks that 1,000-yard cusp every year. The 1,200 mark or whatever, and so that's kind of kept him from taking over the top 2 spots. But I mean, I don't know where he falls on the list, but I know it's in like the top 6 or something like that.
I think he's top 5 in yards.
I think he's like 5th. Didn't he? It's
just last season. I think he took
he passed.
I think
what's his face there. I think he's like just behind Tomlinson, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's to say a lot. I mean, especially when you consider he's the type of running back that's not popular in today's NFL.
No,
and hasn't
no.
been for the past 8 years.
Yeah,
Ground and pound.
you never really hear anything. from him.
He's an old school running back, and I love that.
Frank Gore is never the running back that's out there on a wheel route trying to catch the
No.
ball
Nope.
10 yards down
He's
the field.
trying to run you over.
Frank Gore is either out there to run the ball or to put a defensive lineman on his ass, and he does both of those things very well.
And he's been doing it for a long time.
Last of a dying breed.
I think he's still got a little bit in the tank too. I really do.
I wouldn't be surprised if he played another 3 years.
He's a guy. I want to see him in a Super Bowl, win a
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
I want
It's
him
gonna
to
be
get
tough
it
though
right.
in Indy.
Who knows? Who knows?
Someone might need a backup running back. And Asante Samuel.
I don't think so. He didn't play long enough.
I only say no because to me he was just a ball hawk, a great ball hawk. But I don't think he was that great coverage wise.
No,
he
he
just
wasn't.
jumped routes.
He wasn't, but he has a decent amount of pick sixes.
He does.
That's
He
the
does.
reason I think yes.
I don't think he makes the Hall of Fame because he does have a decent amount of pick sixes and a lot of interceptions, but over a very short period of time.
Exactly.
He wasn't.
Agreed.
He wasn't
Agreed.
a dominant
He only played
cornerback.
like what 7?
Yeah,
8
he wasn't a
years?
dominant cornerback, and he didn't play long enough. And if he makes the Hall of Fame, then there's no reason that people like Calvin Johnson and Tony Romo don't make the Hall of Fame because, I mean,
He was very good for his time.
right. I mean, but what he did wasn't any better than what
No.
Johnson or Romo did for their teams
Exactly.
in a short-lived career. All right, so there you go. Hoff or not, obviously, let us know if you have any disagrees or agrees or people we forgot about. Beer reviews. Kendall, you want to lead us off with the third time around for the Piglet?
It's the first time I'm having it. I enjoyed it very much. Going back to Jim Art's joke, it was delightfully dank, and I recommend it to you lovers of stouts.
and hogs.
It's not a stout. It's an IPA.
Oh,
Say.
goodness.
I'm gonna. So you have to do a
goodness.
shot.
Sounds like a shot for
You have to do a
goodness.
shot from the
Private
private side,
stock, baby.
But I also have to as well because of this terrible pun. But you need to stop piggybacking off Jeff's jokes.
That was good. It was the 8.8% that bested me. So
I'm keeping it juicy, and it was juicy. All right.
Excellent. Machine,
Your
your first beer
Dayglow-
since the heart attack?
Yeah, the Dayglow was very good. Not overly hoppy, but very nice, like drinking IPA.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend it.
Yeah, nice on a hot day
Yeah,
and a hot studio full of men.
that's it.
Excellent. Jamer, you done exhaling over there?
All right. Don't sleep on Awake. Let me tell you, Awake's good. I like coffee. I like chocolate. The flavor's there.
Mhm.
It says "Keep cold, drink now" on the can. I wish I had more cans in front of me.
Wow.
Jeff, you should have that tattooed on you.
Keep
Don't-
cold, drink now.
Don't say that to him because it's going to be on there.
I'll do it.
Live and learn by this guy, okay?
Oh yeah.
Imperial Stout Trooper, absolutely fantastic. In my opinion, it's the best stout brewed in Connecticut. One of the best in the country.
I second that.
Mild on the coffee flavor, nothing too crazy. Very dark, not too malty. A lot of good flavor. A little bit of vanilla in there, I feel. A little bit. Don't forget to follow us on all social medias and listening sites. Machine Washable. Tell them where they can find us.
We are on Facebook and Instagram, Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter, GSWD_4.
Remember to use that hashtag for all daily things, whether it's shaving your dad's back or picking your mom's pimples.
And now we are both on Podbean, iTunes, and the Leeb Sports Network.
I'd like
Oh,
to
yeah.
preface that you said both and listed three things.
I did.
2 is the new 3.
Or is three the new two?
Ooh.
So yeah, be sure
That
to
is
find
the
us.
question.
Yeah, definitely take a look at the sports podcast right there. Definitely very, very intriguing. I know Kyle's listened to it. He was in some arguments inside of his head with some of the things being said, but don't forget to like all of our post shows if you haven't listened to them already, and be prepared for more articles coming your way soon.
Yes. We
Give
gotta
us some
get back on
feedback
that.
too. You know,
Yeah, feedback.
Let us
Tell
know what we're doing.
Tell us what you want to hear, what you hate. Tell us how much you love Souls. He's
If you
got
think
great
my
eyebrows.
jokes suck. Let me know. I'll try a little harder.
Oh, Souls rules.
Oh, Souls rules.
Souls
That's right.
rules.
Until next time, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
And I'm J Mart.
I'm Mock.
I'm Kendall.
And I'm the man of many names.
It's Machine Washable.
That's right.
We'll see you next time.